Okay, fellas, this pasuk, this Gemara is the sugya of basic ideas. How do you know shofar? How do you know tekiah before the trua? How do you know trua? How do you know what a trua is? So yesterday we saw a machlokus whether a trua is a sobbing sound, like or it's a groaning sound. Sobbing would be quickly, do, and groaning would be do. So we're going to see Bez Hashem on the Amid Aleph the reason for our minig, what we do. But the limud for it, the limud where the key is from, true is from, believe it or not, Yovel to Rosh Hashanah. So here's the pasuk by Rosh Hashanah. Seventh month, first day. So it says over here, Zichrein Trua. By Yovel, it says, Va'avarta shofar Trua b'chodesh hashvi'i be'esol ha'chodesh b'yom ha'kippurim ta'viru shofar b'chol artzechem. Now notice, it says Lashon Va'avarta, and Lashon says Ta'viru, and it says Trua. So these are the two psukim that we need to understand the limud of the next piece of Gemara. Those two psukim will help us understand the limud on the next piece of Gemara. Says the Gemara, we're up to Chaf Lamed Gimel Amid Beis, 2, 4, 6, 9 lines to the bottom. Tan Rabbanan. Minayin she b'shofar. How do you know that it's b'shofar? Talmud Loimer, it says Va'avarta shofar trua. It says by Yovel Va'avarta shofar trua. And then it says b'chodesh hashvi'i b'esel ha'chodesh b'yom ha'kippurim ta'viru. So it says Va'avarta shofar trua. So even though it doesn't say shofar by Rosh Hashanah, guys, I pointed this out to you in a Rashi a week or two ago. Even though it doesn't say by Rosh Hashanah, shofar, when we think of shofar, we think of Rosh Hashanah, we never think of Yovel once in 50 years. We think of the year-to-year blowing. The only source we have that blowing is with a shofar is what? Is Yovel. That was when we had we said shofar is machlekes yael, it's a sternbuck straight, or it's a ram, it's kfufa, and we brought in there, the source is Yovel. Fascinating. That shofar, because it says shofar by Yovel, and we're going to learn out Rosh Hashanah from Yovel. Ainli ela b'Yovel. That teaches me Yovel you blow with a shofar. Rosh Hashanah minayin. How do you know in Rosh Hashanah you blow? Talmud Loimer, it says b'chodesh hashvi'i. It says b'chodesh hashvi'i. Shein Talmud Loimer b'chodesh hashvi'i. Now, fellas, what if you know it's Yom Kippurim, right? Chodesh hashvi'i is extra. Good. In other words, let's get to this pasuk. V'avarta shofar truas b'chodesh hashvi'i be'esel ha'chodesh b'yom ha'kippurim. Now, guys, we know Yom Kippur is in Tishrei, so the word b'chodesh hashvi'i is extra. Got it? This word b'chodesh hashvi'i is extra because we know Yom Kippur is in the 7th month. So why are you telling me this? Eli, you're telling me this, that every blowing that you do in the Chodesh Hashvi'i should be with a shofar. V'avarta shofar trua. Any blowing you do in the 7th month, any blowing has to be b'shofar. Any blowing has to be b'shofar. So that's how I know you blow on Rosh Hashanah using a shofar. It's good? Very good, right? So now, all true shel chodesh hashvi'i, all true is all blowings in the 7th month. Zeh kizeh should be similar to v'avarta shofar. Should be similar to the shofar. Now, so you've established one thing. You established that just like you blow a shofar on Yovel, so too you blow a shofar on Rosh Hashanah. That's what we established. Now, minayin shepshuta lefaneha. How do you know you need a tekiah before trua? Talmud Loimer v'avarta shofar trua. Right, the lashon v'avarta shofar trua. Uminayin shepshuta lachreha. And how do you know that? So the varta is lashon of blowing. You blow a shofar trua. You blow a tekiah before a trua. How do you know you blow a tekiah? Pashtin means a straight sound, as opposed to the trua, which is a broken sound. Taviru, right? That was the pasuk. The pasuk said clearly, you're going ahead. What are you doing? Guys, look at the pasuk. Va'avarta shayfa trua. This trua should be preceded by this tekiah, and taviru, after this trua, another tekiah. So this pasuk by Yovel is teaching me everything. It's teaching me a shayfer. It's teaching me you need a tekiah before the shayfer, before the trua, and a tekiah after the trua. And b'chodesh hashvi, so too every blowing in the chodesh hashvi should be with that. Every blowing in the chodesh hashvi should be like that. So that's the beautiful the pasuk in front of us. I'm glad I did this. I thought it would be extraneous, but no, it's right in front of us on the screen. We see beautifully. Okay, Rabbi Rosenzweig, covered you. Listen up. We want to know, how do you know the shayf is on Rosh Hashanah? We're learning it out from Yovel. This pasuk says by Yovel, "V'avarta shayfa trua b'chodesh hashvi be'esel l'chodesh b'yom kippurim." You're going to blow. So we learn out shayfer, because it doesn't say shayfer by Rosh Hashanah. It says shayfer by Yovel. It says b'chodesh hashvi, which is extra. Why? Because Yom Kippur we know is in the chodesh hashvi. So when it says Yom Kippur, it makes this extraneous. This teaches me any blowing in the chodesh hashvi, such as Rosh Hashanah, should be with a shayfer. How do you know you need a trua before a tekiah before the trua? It says vavarta. How do you know you need a tekiah after the trua? It says ta'aviru. So that's how we know that's our source for what? That's our source for that. Okay? So very geschmack, basic idea, and amazingly enough, guys, from something that takes place once every 50 years. Right? You're learning Rosh Hashanah from Yovel. Everything takes place. You learn shofar. You learn how to blow the shofar. We learn from. Okay, now what are we left to know? Says the Gemara, "Tamalayim taviru shofar. Vein li'ela b'Yovel Rosh Hashanah minayin. Tamalayim b'chodesh hashvi. Amar Aleph. Shein tamalayim b'chodesh hashvi. You don't have to tell me b'chodesh hashvi. Umat tamalayim b'chodesh hashvi. Sheikol truas b'chodesh hashvi. All the truas in the chodesh hashvi zeh kezeh should be like this." Now, what don't we know yet? We don't know the series of Malchuyas, Sechonis, V'Shofes. We don't know the 9. All I know is you blow a tekiah, a trua, and a tekiah. Now, we're going to learn it out from, guys. It says twice by Rosh Hashanah and once by Yovel. And now we're going to establish the 3. And how do you know 3 times of 3 blowings? Tamad Loimar. It says by Yovel, Vavarta Shayfa Trua, right? Let's get the Pesukim up. It says by Yovel, Vavarta, that's 1. Let's get the next pasuk up. It says over here, Shabbos in Zichrain Trua, 2. And then it says, Yom Trua Yelachem. It's to be a Yom Trua for you. Right? It should be Yom Trua for you. That pasuk's not here. Okay? So now it says 2 truas by what? By Rosh Hashanah. 1 trua by Yovel. So that teaches me 3. Right? Back in the Gemara, how do you know to put the Rosh Hashanah, the 2 by Rosh Hashanah, to the 1 by Yovel? It says Shvi by Yovel. It says Shvi by Rosh Hashanah. Right? So therefore I know Gzeir Shava. Haketzad Shalosh Shehein Teisha. Okay, 3. That's the total of 9. So you have Tekiah Shvarm Trua by Rosh Hashanah twice. You have once by Yovel. Shvi Gzeir Shava, and you're good. Now just the Brisa concludes, and Shir Tekiyah's Kitrua and Shir Trua Kishlesh Shvarim. The share of tekiah is the same length as a trua, and the share of a trua is what 3 shvarim. Now, let's go back to this whole inyan. How did we know the relationship between Rosh Hashanah and Yovel? How do we know that? We knew it from this pasuk. The pasuk said that what? It says Yom Kippurim in the pasuk, and it says Yom Kippur in the pasuk, and it says B'chodesh Hashvi. So we said that's extra. So it's a hekesh. It's extra here. So I know every Yovel should be like Yom Hashvi. Should be like what? Should be like Rosh Hashanah. So that's a comparison. Fred the Gemara now, you just switched gears. When you had to learn out that the shofar, how do you know that Rosh Hashanah is with a shofar? You learned it out by means of a hekesh. Now you're telling me you learn out the 2 and the 1, the 3 and 3 from a Gezer Shava Shvi Shvi. What is it? Is it a hekesh or is it a Gezer Shava? You switched gears on the limud. Now be aware, guys, in the Yud Gimel Midah Shatar Nidreshes, it does not say hekesh. Because anyone can darshan a hekesh. To darshan a Gezer Shava, you have to have a Messiah from Sinai. You have to have a Messiah from Sinai. So now, says the Gemara. Okay, it says Fred Gemara Kasha. Haitana me kara, my silebe kesha. Initially, he establishes the relationship between Yovel and Rosh Hashanah through the means of a hekesh, quite saying that the Yom Shvi is extraneous. V'hashta my silebe Gezer Shava, says Nohachi Kamala. Ilav Gezer Shava. Of course, I'm learning it through Gezer Shava. But if not for the Gezer Shava, having Masina Labe Kesha, I would learn it from a hekesh. But hashta the asik Gezer Shava hekesh leitzarich. Now that what I have a Gezer Shava, I do not need the hekesh. Now that I have a Gezer Shava, I do not need the hekesh. That's the limit of the Gemara. Now what's the? Why do you go ahead and say that a Gezer Shava takes precedence what over a hekesh? So if you look at Rashi, Rashi tells you. Go down a little bit. Hachi kamar. If ilav gezer shava, iloi nemra gezer shava zu leMoshe miSinai ledoina. Rashi throws in the keywords, guys. Right? The keywords being leMoshe miSinai midoina. Hayisi maybe hakol be'akesha. That's why it takes precedence because we have a Messiah on this. But if we didn't, we'd be able to darshan a hekes. Klaimer me'atzmai by ourselves without what? Without without means of Gezer Shava. Notice Rabbi Kiva Eger there, Seichens, he brings a steer in Rashi. The Rashi says a Messiah, you need a Messiah on Hekesh also. Okay, that's a kasha. He remains Tzorach in. Okay, but it's an interesting thing. I never saw it inside, but in my head I remember such a conversation. Maybe I had a Levi Gelfish. How does Gezer Shava work? If there's a Messiah, how does it work? Like some people do darshan, some people don't darshan Gezer Shava. How does it work? So it seems that the words of Gezer Shava are extra. How we darshan those words is the machlokus. In other words, there's Masorah in the word shvi shvi. How to darshan that sometimes is a machlokus, but there's Masorah on the words being used. I think that's what Rabbi Chanan said. I think so. Anyway, this is the first source. So the source is a relationship between Yovel and Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah. This is our source for shofar. This is our source for tekiah before and afterwards. Tekiah is before the trua, and a source for 9. We're going to bring a second source now. And that's going to be this. This pasuk. It doesn't tell the whole parsha, but this is the parsha of Chatzaitzos. It's not on the screen. I'm just reading it to you. It's Perik Yud and Parshas Ba'aloischa. You should make yourself silver trumpets. They should have beaten gold, and you should use that to call the congregation together and to travel. You'll use it together. I'm going to go through these psukim because we're going to be referencing them. If you blow one tekiah, then that'll be known for you that you're calling the Nesiim together. And if you blow it trua, the eastern ones will travel. If you blow 2 truas, the western camp will travel. Trua yisku l'masayim, or trua you should blow for the masayim. When you gather them together, tisku, only blow with tekiah, v'lo sariu, don't blow with trua. So you see the 2 separate things. So that basically you have an idea of the mentioning of truas over here and yisku over here, and you have two statements. You have the word tisku and toriu. So one's mashma a tekiah and one's mashma a trua. In the parsha of Yovel, in the parsha of Rosh Hashanah, we didn't have the lashon of tekiah, guys, right? We had lashon of avarta, the lashon of ta'aviru, right? Okay, so that's to keep in mind to facilitate understanding of the next piece of Gemara. So it's going to be the same limud in the end. The question is the source. The source is going to be a different source. The limud is going to be the same, but the source is going to be the chatzotzros. The Gemara is going to ask, obviously, those are chatzotzros, not shofar, and we're going to figure it out. Okay, says the Gemara. The high tani ma'aslei mehacha is a tana that brings it from the following. Midbar. He learns from Gezer Shav Midbar. Tanya. Usakatem trua. It should blow a trua. Tekiya b'fnei atzma, trua b'fnei atzma. They're two separate koilas. They're not the same koil. Atoyim tekiya b'fnei atzma, trua b'fnei atzma. How do you know they're two separate koilos? Maybe they're the same. Maybe it's considered one koil. No, it's tekiya and trua are the exact same koil. When it says when you gather them together, tisku say it tekiya v'loisariu, not a trua. So obviously it's saying you say it tekiya, not a trua. Obviously they're two separate sounds, right? It's a good raya. And how do you know you blow a tekiya before trua? Again, the lashon of tekiya, not the lashon of taviru, the lashon of sakatem. This seems to be the advantage of this limud, where it says the word tekiya openly. The disadvantage, of course, it doesn't say shofar, it says chatzotzros, okay? But again, it has an advantage. How do you know that there's a pshuta afterwards? How do you know there's a tekiya after the trua? Trua yisku. It says the word trua, and then it says yisku. So you have Baruch Hashem, we have in front of us the screen. It's gavaldig, guys, right? So katem means you blow a tekiya before the trua, and then it says tisku v'leisariu. You see it says trua yiskau. It says pasuk trua yiskau. Where is that? Shenis. Trua yiskau. So you see tekiya after trua. So we see a tekiya before a trua, and we see a tekiya after trua, right in front of us, right? See right in front of us. It says uskatem trua shenis. It says over here, you don't need the word of yisku trua to tell me that the tekiya comes after the trua. Since it says, guys, usakatem trua shenis, it says you're going to blow a second trua shenis. Shein tamad leima shenis. You don't have to say a second one. Ma tamad leima shenis. Say binyanav shekomakim shnema trua pei tekiya shniya la. There should be a trua right afterwards. So right now we have a source for, according to this, we have a source for tekiya, trua, tekiya. Mamish openly in the pasuk. Usakatem tekiya, trua, a second trua, first trua yisku, a second tekiya, or you're going to learn it from shenis from this word. Ainli ela b'midbar, Rosh Hashanah minaya. Now, good, this is in the midbar. How do you know in Rosh Hashanah? Tamaloi ma trua gzeira shava. It says trua by over here. It says trua by Rosh Hashanah. Just like over here, it's tekiya, trua, tekiya. So too by Rosh Hashanah, it's tekiya, trua, tekiya. Ushalish truas nemru by Rosh Hashanah, and it says by Rosh Hashanah 3. In other words, guys, it doesn't say over here. It doesn't say how many times you do it. In other words, we learn that pshuta lachreha lefanel v'achreha from here, but it doesn't say the times. For that, we're going to have to come on to Yovel and Rosh Hashanah, where Rosh Hashanah it says 2 truas, and by Yovel it says 1 trua. So that ushalish truas nemru by Rosh Hashanah, not exactly Rosh Hashanah. Shabbos and Zikron trua is 1. Yom Trua is 2, and Vavata Shofar Trua is by Yovel, but we're going to consider the limit from Rosh Hashanah is 3. Okay? Now, so Baruch Hashem, I don't think we need this anymore, but I'm glad I put it on the screen. It worked out well. Right. So now, Vavata Shofar Trua, Shtei Tekiyos L'chol Achas V'Achas, right? Matzinu, and you have 2 tekiyos for each Trua. That you learn what from the midbar, that you have 2 tekiyos in the midbar, right? It says usakatem, it says b'trua yisko. Nemu Rosh Hashanah shtayim, right? It says sholish truas v'sheish tekiyos nemu Rosh Hashanah. By Rosh Hashanah, it says 3 truos and 6 tekiyos. Good. Shtayim midivrei Torah, total of 9 kailas. Shtayim midivrei Torah, v'echem midivrei seifrim. 2 are midaraisa, and 1 is midivrei seifrim. Shabbos and Zichron Trua is midaraisa. Vavata Shofar Trua is midaraisa, midivrei Torah. However, Yom Trua Yilachem, that's l'talmudei. That I need for a limud. That I need for the Gezer Shava, guys. Remember, we have Gezer Shava Trua. I need to learn out from the midbar that you blow a tekiya before and after Trua, right? I need that. Where do I establish that? Al Yidei Gezerah Shava of Trua. So that one of the truest that it says by Rosh Hashanah is not extra to go ahead and teach me that you blow a third time. So that's Midivrei Seifrim. Since you're blowing twice the Raisa, that you're going to third time also you'll blow. When you blow the shofar, it's a bit right. The Malchuyas Sechwenis you're blowing the Raisa, and the shofar is a bit Rabba. Isn't that?
Is the psukim from the midbar were by chatzotzos, not from a shofar?
I mentioned that when I saw your face, and I said, if you were listening clearly, I said, Rabbi, I you know what? I really beamed it to you. The Gemara is going to ask that kasha. it's open the kasha. The Gemara is going to ask that kasha. But it's funny. I read your face, and I said that's what he's bothering him when he went like this, and I was saying, oh, Rabbi, okay, whatever. Rabbi Shmuel Bar Nachmani Amar Rabbi Yonason, Achas Midivrei Torah, Ushtayim Midivrei Seifrim. Only one is the Midaraisa, and two are the Rabbanan. Bavata Shofar Trua Midivrei Torah, Shabbos and Zichron Trua I need for the Gezerah Shav of Trua. The Yom Trua Yilachem L'Talmudo I need the word Yom Trua for the following limud. Huba my Talmudo Huba Mi Boy B'Yom V'Lo B'Layla you both by day and you know by night. Okay, so now we have a machlokes. Ben we have three machlokes. Pasha, you say from the earlier limud on the right that it's all three. The limud that we had from not Yovel. The limud we had from Yovel, not from the midbar. Deraisa, all nine of deraisa. That's it. The limud we have from midbar, we're saying right now, is a machlokes. Two are deraisa, and the third one I need for Gezerah Shava. Rosh Shmuel Bar Nachmani is saying no. Only one is the Raisa, and one I need for a Gezerah Shava, and one I need to teach me a day and night. Now the Tanakhama says two are the Raisa. Where does he know day and night from? The Tanakhama, where does he know that you blow the shofar during the day and not at night? Since Yom Kippur Yovel is by day, so too Rosh Hashanah is going to be by day. Says the Gemara, Imi b'Yom Kippurim Yolof Nigmar Nami Minei L'Pshutim L'Fanel B'Shut L'Achreha, right? So why didn't you learn out like we did the first time? It says Va'avarta, it says Trua, then it says Toriu, Va'avarta Ta'aviru. It says the lashon of Ta'aviru, guys. Va'avarta and it says Ta'aviru. So l'chayra, if the whole limud, guys, from Midbar is to teach me Tekiah before and Tekiah after, and once you're coming on to the limud of Yovel to teach me that daytime and not nighttime, why don't you learn out also the Tekiah before and afterwards and skip the limud from Midbar at all? Again, it's repetitious. The whole limud from Midbar is to teach me to Sakatem and Yisku with a trua in between. Good? That's the whole limud. You're not coming on to Yom Kippur at all, Yovel. Now you're telling me you are coming onto Yovel to teach me, just as Yovel is during the day, so to Tekiah Shov is during the day. Well, 1 second. If that's the case, I have an existing limit of Tekiah, Trua Tekiah. The Avartem and the Taviru. Says the end for the Gemara, Avarta Taviru loy mashmalahu. As I spoke out when I put it on the screen, guys, the advantage of this limud, it says the shayrish of Tekiah, usakatem. Right? Yisku. This limud over here, it says Vahavarta, Ta'aviru. That's not mashma blowing. It's more mashma blowing from Midbar. So the reason I don't want to come onto Yom Kippur is because I don't know three, because I don't darshan Vahavarta Ta'aviru. I darshan from Tekiah. Okay, nice. Good. Now, Elamai Darshibe. So if that's the case, what do the ones who learn from Midbar, what do they do with the limud of Avarta and Taviru? Right? That's extra. Like Tanakama, I needed to teach me Tekiah before Tekiah Yefta. You're learning from Midbar, Sakatem Yisku, you know it from there. So what do you use the Avarta Taviru for? It says, Avarta Kid Rav Masna. The Rav Masna, Avarta Derech Avarasai. If you might recall, if you can't go ahead, you have to blow it the way it grows on the ram's head. You can't make the short end longer and the long end shorter, right? So why? Because that's not derech taviru. Why does I word taviru? That's what I learned from Avarta. Taviru The Kamar Achmana is Navre Biyad. Rashi says, why don't you carry it with your hands? Says Rashi, left side. Guys, we have left side Rashi over here, about 10 lines up. Naviru Biyad. V'lav the Hodor Kasve, if not the Torah wrote Taviru, like having Mishtama Taviru Lashon Tekiah. In other words, without the word Taviru, I would have thought you carried it in your hands. The fact that it repeats teaches me that what? That you blow and what? And you don't carry it in your hands. The Idach, the Tana, where does he know that you don't carry it in the hands from? Since he dashes it from Usakatem. Says Gemara, the ones who don't know, who uses Taviru, the Tana who uses Taviru to teach me that it means Tekiah. Where does he know you can't carry it in your hands? The Rav Masna, where does he know those two limudim from? Rav Masna's name midishani b'dibure, when it says Varta nas usakatem, so he learns two things. He learns derech havara and also that what that you blow. And Taviru biyad le'matzas amit. You can't say that you carried in your hands. The Goma avara mimoshe. Ksiv hachav avarta shayfa shua. Ksiv hasam. It says by Moshe, by Tzav Moshe, by Aviru kol b'machne. It says by Aviru kol, the lashon of kol. Mala halam kol, avkam kol. Just like there's a kol, so here's a kol, and therefore you can't have a havamina that Taviru means you just carry. Vavarta means you just carry it. So you don't need a Taviru for that. Now, Fred the Kasha of the day. Well, a high Tana the Maisilom in Midbar. The one who Tana learns out the Tekiah before Tekiah from Midbar. So let's learn now, just like by Midbar it's Chatzaitzreis, so too on Rosh Hashanah is Chatzaitzreis. Tamaloima, what does it say? Tiku b'chodesh shayfer b'kesel liyam chagenu eze chag she'achodesh b'mischasaboy hamiyom eze Rosh Hashanah, which is the Kamar Achmana shayfer. Now, if you look at this pasuk, it's a pasuk in Tehillim. So what are you telling me? You're telling me maybe it's Chatzos. You can't say that because there's a pasuk in Tehillim that says that what? Tiku b'chodesh shayfer b'kesel liyam chagenu. That when the chodesh is mechasa, when it's covered up, which is Rosh Chodesh Tishrei, at the beginning of the month, go ahead and blow a shofar. How do you learn it from Divrei Kabbalah? The answer is that obviously David HaMelech, when he blows Tikka b'chodesh, he's describing what took place on every Rosh Hashanah. In other words, it can't pass. In other words, it's not that it's a limit from there; it's a gili from there. It's miskala from there what Rosh Hashanah is. David HaMelech went to say, if you blow a Chatzaitzris, David HaMelech would say, Tiku b'chodesh shofar b'kesel liyam chagenu. Unless he knew, and obviously from the beginning of the mitzvah of shofar up to David HaMelech, they blew what? They blew a shofar. Good. Now the last part of this, the next piece of Gemara is like the most important Gemara in shofar. Guys, why do we blow outside? Why do we blow? We blow tashat, tarat. Right? That's what we blow. Why? You just went through a whole Gemara. All you got to blow is 9 times a tekiah, a true tekiah, a tekiah, true tekiah, a tekiah, true tekiah. So the answer is we don't know what a true is. We had a machlokes. Is it true? Do, 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 do. And according to Taisus, do, 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 do. Or is it true? Do, do, do. Whether it's Yolala or it's a Gonach. We don't know. So why do we blow? Why do we blow? We blow tekiah, true tekiah shvarim, true to be yotza the ganach. Tekiah yalala tekiah to be yotza yalala. Kasha. So why do you blow the first one? Why do you blow tashrat? Why do you blow tekiah shvarim tekiah? In other words, if you're misupik, whether it is, you're yotza with only 2 of them. You're yotza with what? With a shvarim and a trua. Why do you have a? So the answer is that mesupik ken zayin, it's both. Ken zayin is both. So we do 3 to be yotza every single day. We do 3. Now there's a 4th day. You should be that you should do what? Tekiah shvarim trua. No, tekiah trua shvarim. Why don't we blow do and then do and then do? That's a 4th possibility, right? That the yalala before the groan, and the answer is that derech of a person when he hears bad news, first he groans and then there's the yalala. So there's no havamina that what that'll be a yalala before a ganach. Okay, that's the Gemara. So this is a very important Gemara. Iskin Rebavo Kasari. Rebavo The Tan Rabbi is metakin in Kasari. Tekiya shloisha shvarim, trua tekiya. A tekiya, shvarim is two, trua, and tekiya. What we know is tashrat. Manav shach. Iyaluli yalol, love it tekiya, trua tekiya. V'igenuchi gonach, love it tekiya, shloisha shvarim tekiya. So it's more mesafkele. Iginuach gonach, iyaluli yalol. So since he doesn't know, he's going to blow both. Maskal Rav Avira, the dimul yalule have. Maybe it's what it's yalule. The kamafsik shloisha shvarim betrua l'tekiya. Maybe it's right, and you mean mafsik between the shvarim being true l'tekiya. In other words, tekiya. If it's tekiya, and it's by having a do over here, it's being mafsik between. I need a tekiya, true tekiya, right? I need these. I'm blowing. I can't do this. I'm blowing. Disregard the pinky. I'm blowing 4, right? I'm blowing 4. This one could be mafsik between this one. I need a tekiya, true tekiya. If this one is what is not a trua, so I'm gonna have a hefsik between my tekiya and my trua. I hope this is making sense. Says the Gemara. And for the Gemara, the hada of a tekiya, true tekiya. That's why you're blowing tekiya, true tekiya. That's why you're blowing. Says the Gemara, Maskal Ravina. The other question, the dilma genuchi have you gone off masik true being shvarim with tekiya. Okay, so now maybe it's guys. Look, if this is the tekiya and this is a trua, then this is not, and it's being mafsik between this, right? If this is a tekiya and this is a trua, so good. This is juxtaposed next to each other, but I got a shvarim over here being mafsik between the tekiya over here. Says the Gemara. Well, the obvious answer is what? The hada tashat. That's why he's blowing tekiya shvarim. That's why he's doing that. So El Rabavo my iskin igenuchi ganacha avidi ilu yol avidi. So why did he have to say tashrat? L'chayra he's yoytze with a tashat and a tarat. Says no mesafkele dilma gonach v'yolo. Maybe it's both. Maybe it's both. Me hachi lovid nami a fourth one ibcha tekiya trua shleisha shvarim tekiya could dilma yolo v'gonach. So do tekiya trua shvarim tekiya. We don't do that. And the Gemara stomach the milsa he misread the inish milsa when a person gets bad news. Bereisha gonach first he groans, but the yolo then he sobs, then he remembers. So mamish the whole thing that we do is based upon this little piece of Gemara. So it's amazing. It's amazing. Guys, so far good? So we saw so far today Geshmak, right? We saw where does it say Shaifa? Not by Bamidbar and not by Rosh Hashanah. It says Shaifa by Yovel. It says Shaifa by Yovel. Where does it say Tekiya from Trua? That you have to go Tekiya first, Tekiya afterwards? And that we have Machlaikis. One says by Yovel, because Lashon of Avarta and Taviru. One says by the Midbar, says Usakatem in Yisku. That's by the Midbar. Where do you learn out 3 times? That you have to do it 3 times. It says once by Yovel and it says twice by Rosh Hashanah. And why are we blowing a Tashrat? Because we're Mesupik whether a Trua is both of them together. Why are you blowing a Tashat? Mesupik whether Shvarim is a Trua. Why are you blowing a Trua? Because we're Mesupik whether it's a Trua. That's the Gemara. So it says, you can't have a long one, the last one of the first set, and the first one of the second set, that you can't have. If you hear 9 tekiyas b'teisha shas b'yom yatsa. Now, the mashma that you don't have to hear a trua. If you look at Rashi, teisha tekiyas trua nami kamar. In other words, when it says lashon of tekiyas, it means blowing. It doesn't mean the shirish of tekiya. It means the blowings that you have to be yotza, which of course is tekiya, trua tekiya. That's what it means. The lashon tekiya here means blowing. It doesn't mean the set of tekiya. So if you hear your 9 kailas, tekiya shvarm, tekiya trua tekiya, if you hear it 9 times over 9 hours, you're yotza. Tanya nami hachi shama teisha tekiyas b'tisha shayis b'yam yotza. Now, mites b'nei odam ke'echad. If you hear 9 from one person at one time, lo yatsa. Tekiya mizeh utru mizeh yatsa. Vafilu b'sirugin. Okay, let's see Rashi over here. Rashi helps us out. So the Girsa Rashi had is the one we have with the brackets. 9 sounds from 9 different people simultaneously. You're not yaitza. Trey koli loy mishtame kach pishua, because you can't eat 2 kolis at the same time. Lefimasha kosa b'sfarim v'lav milsahi, says Rashi. It's not good pshat. Though Kimno, we said before in Daf Chav Zayin, Trey koli mitrei gavi mishtamoi, 2 koilas from 2 people you would hear. You can't hear from one person like HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Zachar b'Shamar, but from 2 people you could hear. So Pashtus over here, you should be able to hear 9 koilas. Says the Gemara, therefore Rashi changes the girsa in our Gemara. Mitisha b'nei adam ke'echad yaitza. If you hear from 9 people at once, you are yaitza. Va'afilu b'sirugin, and even if it's skipped, it goes in piecemeal. Va'afilu kol yom kula. V'loy garsina tekiya mizeh v'trum mizeh yaitza. L'hainu reisha, because that's the same thing. So here's the way you read the Gemara according to Rashi now. Tanya nam yachi shama tisha tekiyas mitisha v'yom yaitza mites b'nei adam ke'echad. You would be yaitza. You would be yaitza. You would be yaitza. But tekiya mizeh v'trum mizeh lo yaitza. Tekiya mizeh trum mizeh. You're not going with that. Tekiya mizeh trum mizeh yaitza, because that's the same thing as the first. You're not going with that. You're not going with that according to Rashi. But fili b'sirugin, you'll be yaitza. Taisus going through Taisus. Taisus has a problem. Let's see Taisus. Kach kosa b'svarim v'hikshe b'kuntris amay lo yatza. Why aren't you not yatza? Ha'sikl el. We concluded before the trei kolim, the trei gavi mishtamoi. 2 sounds from 2 people you could hear. Upirish the garsina b'taisefta mitisha b'nei yadam ke'echad yatza v'afil b'sirugin. V'nir l'kaim girsa hasvarim. Taisus says we can keep our girsa. Mitisha b'nei adam ke'echad layatza. Not because, guys, you don't hear the koilos. Mishum the einkan b'trua pshuta lefaneha u'pshuta lachreha kivin she'akol b'yachad. Guys, 9 people are blowing, right? What are the koilos you're hearing? One guy's blowing a tekiah, one guy's blowing a trua, one guy's blowing a tekiah. Okay, you can hear those kolos, but you don't have one going after the other since they're simultaneously. So it's not a chesaron like we thought in hearing the koil. It's a chesaron in order. You're not getting the order correctly. And therefore, we can be going with yatsa and keep the girsa that we have. That's why Taisus Rashi said no, Taisus says yes. Machlokes Rashi and Taisus. Read the Gemara, Rabbi Yochanan Hachi. How can Rabbi Yochanan say that if you hear over 9 hours of the day that you yatsa? From Rabbi Yochanan, Mishum Reb Shimon ben Yetzadik. If you delay the share it takes to go ahead and complete it, be aware it's Reb Yehuda quoting Reb Shimon ben Yetzadik. You have to go back to the beginning. So the havamina of the Gemara is l'chora. There's no difference between Hallel and Megillah and Tkiyah Shofar. If you delay such a period of time, you have to go back to the beginning. So how can you be yaitz in 9 hours? Like Kasha Hadidei Had Rabbi. He himself says that what? You wouldn't be yaitza. His Rebbe is he says you would be yaitza. The Rabbi, his Rebbe is the one of Shimon Yetzadak. He's the one who said that you wouldn't be yaitza. But he, Rabbi Yochanan himself, held you yaitza. According to him, not you, meaning you would be yaitza. He was reading Kriya Shema. He was ishtik. Basa the Chalaf when he came out. Amalei mahu ligmar. So he said, what's the din about completing it? If you delay, you have to go back to the beginning. So you see, he does hold that. So how can you say that he doesn't hold that? So back to the original question, how could it be yaitza? Just like Kriya Shema, if you delayed, you'd have to repeat it. So too by shofar, you'd have to repeat the shofar. So how can you say that he was saying the day of what? Of Rav Shimon ben Yetzadik, his own day also is that way. Back to the original question. And this is what Rabbi Yochanan was telling him. Lididi, like spherically, I don't hold what you just did is correct. Says Rashi, Lididi, like spherically, Masha Safta, that you were poisik when we got to this dirty alley, I don't hold it at. This later Rabbi Yochanan Masechta Brachis, Hayakari Kriya Shema, Vigia Limu voice Mitunafos. And you get to dirty alleyways, Meniach Yadei Al Piv, put your hand over your mouth, the Koira. So in other words, what you did to be mafsik, I don't hold like that at all. But if you hold like the people that, then you'd have to repeat. So therefore, lidi di svirli. I don't hold yad mafsik at all. Lidi dach the svirlecha. But according to you that hold that way, then kula, then roish. You have to go back to the beginning. But enachinami, I hold 9 koilas over 9 hours a day. You'll be yaitza. Tarabanan, tekiyos that are associated with we're going to next Masech, the Tainus, when they'd institute Tanesim for rain and they'd blow, those tekiyos aim akvizuazu. They're not ma'akiv. If you're missing, they're not ma'akiv. And brachos, the brachos, they eat on brachos and Shmona Esrei, aim akvizuazu. However, the tekiyos of brachos of Rosh Hashanah, the tekiyos of the 9 tekiyos in Rosh Hashanah, and the brachos of Malkenis Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Hashanah Shem Kippurim akvis, they are ma'akiv. My timer. Amar Rabba, Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu, Amar Lefana, Rabbanu Shla, Amar Lefanai Rosh Hashanah, Malchuyas Zechronis V'Shayfos, Malchuyas Kadesh Tamlicheni Aleichem, Zechronis Kadesh Yavi Lefanai Zechronechem, L'Toiva U'Bimar B'Shayfer, with a Shayfer. Okay, we'll stop over here. Bez Hashem, we'll finish the Masechta, Mitzvah Shabbos, and we put out in this chat yesterday a request for a siyum.